cop, okay? A cop hits a woman, kills her, speeding, no sirens, nothing. Put up the picture full mask. Leadership of the police department, well, they're saying, well, it's really both of their fault. Katherine Colon, she's in the center of this picture in blue. She's the mother of 4. She was walking on West Main Street in Connecticut, September 21st, 2023 at 1 a.m. where she was hit by a New Britain police officer, Reinsch, who was speeding through a neighborhood. He was going 60 in a 25. No lights, no sirens. According to the report, he was headed to a burglary call when he hit her. Once again, no lights, no siren. Now, a lawsuit filed by her family against the city and the officer they blame for the death seeks monetary damages. So, Maribel Rodriguez, Colon's daughter, told Hartford CBS affiliate WFSB, quote, "It makes me sick to know that we still have officers who are speeding down these streets without their lights on and who could potentially kill another individual." The family's attorney, Jaquin Madry, said in a statement that no emergency is so great that it warrants endangering the lives of others. The driver of this vehicle is responsible for the death of Katherine Colon, and so is the city of New Britain. And this is a very simple cause and effect. And in law school, my professor would say, the rule is very simple here. If you engage in actions that you should know would likely harm somebody, if there's a person on the street, then your negligence is criminal. You no longer have this excuse because you either knew or should have known that this could happen. No sirens, no lights. That's the reason they are there, to alert the public. It's a safety measure. There's more. The lawsuit alleges that the officer operated his vehicle without due regard for the safety of all persons and property, drove his motor vehicle at a rate of speed greater than is reasonable for the conditions, and allowed himself to be distracted while operating this motor vehicle. The suit also alleges he failed to keep a proper lookout for pedestrians on the roadway, did not slow down to avoid the collision, and did not apply his brakes in time to avoid colliding with the victim. This is the chief of police, Matthew Marino. A city spokesperson told WFSB that the officer remains an officer on restricted duty and declined to comment on the pending litigation. The man killed an entire human being because of what clearly would have been an arrestable offense if you or I did it, okay? Clearly. A report recently released by Waterbury State's attorney, Maureen T. Platt, blamed the officer and the deceased. Are you hearing me? Blamed the officer and the deceased. I'm gonna help her clear this up in a minute, saying that she had placed herself in danger by wearing dark clothing and failing to use a crosswalk. The report also said the victim, the deceased, had been legally intoxicated, under the influence of alcohol and drugs and cocaine and fentanyl, end quote. Keep a picture. You see, ma'am, your own words betray you. You see, the report also says that the officer was responding to a code 2 call, okay? Now, you said that it's both his fault and her fault. Well, what do you do when that happens? You arrest them both. Well, see, Ms. Colon isn't here, she's dead. So you can't arrest her. So that means you're going to arrest him because you said it's both his fault and her fault, right? The report also stated per WFSB, the officer was responding to a code 2 call that doesn't require lights and sirens, but state law asserts all officers must always drive with due regard for the safety of all persons and property. It didn't just say those that are sober or those that use the crosswalk. It says everybody, okay? In October, the mother, Maribel Candelaria, spoke out during a rally where hundreds marched in the streets demanding accountability. The New Britain Progressive reported, quote, as a mother, I can't sleep at night knowing what the police did to my daughter. They ride around like they own the street, speeding and harassing. I've never been treated with dignity or humanity by the police, but for them to take my daughter for absolutely no reason is infuriating. It makes me angry. We need accountability for what happened to my daughter. I concur with you. What this officer did at least was criminally negligent. Disregard for human life. That's a crime. That's a chargeable offense. Mr. Mayor, the only thing that makes a difference here is the fact this person had on a blue uniform.
I mean, and that's that. Like, as simple as that, brother.
Yep.
The idea that you are speeding, you don't. It's never the pedestrian fault when you're speeding. And right. we should get past the idea that's possible. And if it's a code 2 and it doesn't require sirens and lights, then that should mean that it should be required that you do the speed limit. Because at that point, you're just another car coming down the street, and people should not have to worry about being pulled over by police officers, then blamed for their own death. This statement is absolutely enough to get that person fired if they had compassion and empathy and how they see themselves. But already what they're doing is playing PR, trying to cover up the liability that's damn sure coming forward.
Yeah, that's right. So, litigation is pending now. We'll bring you updates to the story.